So the big, powerful NFL has spoken. 18th pick in the NFL draft.
Hey, make us lunch. We're hungry.
Dallas still stinks. You're by the way, King Dingbat here. I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope you guys are doing well. So before we start this video, I want to say tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be on Baddog's channel, Baddog Sports. We're coming over there. We're taking it over now. We're going to have a good time, hang out with Baddog, talk Eagles, Giants, talk football. Maybe he wants to talk about the moon. Maybe he wants to talk about black-eyed children. Wherever and whenever he wants to go anywhere, I'm with him. So we'll talk about whatever he wants to bring up. He's going to be 46 in a few days. The man is old. Bring your canes. The guy is going to need a cane. He's getting old. But I'll put the link in the description. Come hang out with us. Also, I am now on the Newsbreak app. So if you guys haven't, or if you have it, and you want to follow me, I'll click the link in the description. Give me a follow. I'll have some exclusive videos over there from time to time during the week, so you're not going to want to miss it. Newsbreak app, we're taking that over as well, so you definitely don't want to miss it. Now, man, this topic that I have to talk about today is not really what I like to talk about, because to me, this is a topic that mixes in with politics. Whether you want to talk politics or not, it kind of goes that way. And sports today is really getting political. And a lot of people are being turned off to sports today, which I totally understand because of the politics that are starting to show up in sports. And I totally get it. I choose to watch sports because I love sports. I loved them my whole life. And I'm not going to let them ruin it for me by pushing things on me that, I may not want to think about during watching a football game, right? There's plenty of times for politics outside of sports, in my opinion. I look at sports as a way to unify with people who may not have the same agreements with me in life and things like that. Sports brings us all together, and sports is also a way to forget about all that bullcrap. It's a way to kind of just chill out and get away from it. But the NFL is doing things that are very highly charged, highly politicized, and the big thing was that they announced their rules for the COVID-1984 vaccinations for the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. And let me just start out by saying this. I don't care if you're vaccinated. I don't care if you're not vaccinated. I have family who are. I have family who aren't. I have family who will get it done. I have family who will never, ever get it done. Okay? To me, it makes no difference to me. So, to me, this isn't about me telling you you should do it, you shouldn't do it. I'm not telling anybody anything. I'm talking about the NFL and their policy and why, or basically give you my opinion on it, okay? I will do my best to not make it political, but you can't help it. You can't fight it. It's going to get somewhat political. It just has to. That's what they're pushing. They're pushing these things out, and this is going to be something that divides people a lot, okay? And it seems like a lot of the stuff that we see today is always about dividing the population and conquering them. That's what I truly believe. They always want to divide us, always want to pin us up against each other, and then try to divide us. And then when they do that, then they have more control. But the NFL came out with their COVID rules, right? And basically what they said was that basically if you're vaccinated, you get treated a certain way. But if you're unvaccinated, you're going to be treated differently. Let's say, for example, you're unvaccinated and you come down with COVID. It forces your team to not be able to play their game. Instead of rescheduling, they are going to give you a loss. They are going to give you a loss, and you are then going to be responsible for any money, any revenue that was lost by the team, by that week, television revenue, you and your team. Okay, you will be responsible for it. Okay, people, if teams don't play, those players on the team will not get paid. Now, if you're vaccinated and you come down with COVID and then you get it and you give it to the rest of your team and they miss the game and they can't play, they'll do their best to reschedule. They will not fine you, and you will not be responsible for all the money, all the lost revenue that you would be if it was an unvaccinated player that got it. Okay? Now, this to me is the wrong move by the NFL. To me, the NFL has made a bad move. And I believe history will show this to be a big mistake. And there are a lot of players like Jalen Ramsey, Cole Beasley, DeAndre Hopkins, Leonard Fournette. There are guys that are not happy about this. I got to imagine a lot of players are not happy about this because this isn't about choice. This isn't about choice. I firmly believe in individual freedom. I believe in the right to choose what you want to do with your body. I believe in individual freedom. And individual freedom means that you own your body and you own your life. And nobody has the right to force something on you. Now, some people will say, this isn't forcing. They still have the choice. They just have to live with the consequences. The consequences were made so hard and so stringent that basically, if they choose against getting the vaccine, they lose their livelihood. They could lose their livelihood. We saw Dennison in Minnesota, the offensive line coach. He left. He got fired because of this. A coach in New England got fired because of this. Okay? Choosing between being forced to do something to your body you don't want to do and losing your livelihood is not a choice. It's not a choice. You're putting people, their back against the wall, and you're forcing them to do something they don't want to do. I got to stand against this. On all levels. I stand with DeAndre Hopkins, Leonard Fournette, Cole Beasley, Jalen Ramsey. All those guys that have a problem with it, that feel like they're being forced to do, I'm with them. Now, anybody that gets vaccinated, that's their choice. No problem. But you can't force people to do something they don't want to do. And there's a lot of people that'll say, well, the science proves that these vaccines are safe. So these guys should just take it. Just take it. Don't be selfish. Just do it. What are you doing? Just do it. You know, the science that these people talk about are the science that you hear on TV when you put on TV. The science that you read when you put on the internet. But you don't hear about all the doctors, all the scientists that are saying don't take it because they've been censored. They've been shut down. You can't find, it's very hard to find those doctors, but they're out there. They're out there. So my point is that there's more than one reason, a good reason why guys may not want to do it. Some guys may say, look, it's not approved by the FDA yet. I'm not comfortable. Hey, I want to see what happens over the long run. People have many reasons, but the biggest thing is they should have the self determination to decide for themselves without being punished. And this is where the NFL made a big mistake. I believe, and I swear, I hope some of these guys come together and they go after the NFL. Because I think if they sue the NFL, they'll win. And where the NFL messed up, and it's not that, hey, we have to worry about the unvaccinated compared to the vaccinated. You can have protocols and things like that for safety and all those kind of things. But one thing you can't do is you can't have two different types of citizens. You can't have two different classes of citizens. You can't say you have the vaccinated class, they have all their freedoms, all their liberties, they're not responsible for anything, but the unvaccinated people, you are stuck with all the responsibility, everything falls on you. We're going to treat you different than we treat these people. That is unconstitutional. I don't care what anybody says. That is un-American, unconstitutional, and I'm against that 100%. And if these guys go and fight it, they're going to win. They're going to win in court. Because you can't treat people like second-class citizens. You can't treat people differently, okay? We've been through this in this history of this country. Some of our darkest days have been treating people like second-class citizens. You can't do it, no matter what it is, for religion reasons, for ethnicity reasons, color reasons, anything you can think of. You can't do it, especially for medical reasons. You can't do it for medical reasons either. And to say that because somebody didn't choose to put something in their body, they're going to be treated differently than everybody else is wrong. It is wrong. And so I hope these guys fight it. I really, really do. Now, like I said, I don't care if you're vaccinated. I don't care if you're unvaccinated. It makes no choice to me because I'm not going to push my will on anybody, okay? But we've got a lot of people who think that it is okay to bully people into doing things that they may not want to do. And to say that these guys have a choice and they just have to live with the consequences when the consequences are made so bad that the only thing that they can do to provide for their family, to keep their livelihood, is to take something they don't want to take in their body, I think is horrible. What if something happens down the road, long term, that these things weren't safe? Then what? Do you know when you go and you want to get a shot, you have to sign liability away. You can't come after the pharmaceutical companies. You can't go after the doctors who gave the shot. You can't come after anybody. So if something's wrong, it's on you. So these guys, they care about their bodies and they're worried about it. They've looked at I'm sure they've looked at the same science everybody else has. They've looked at all their options and they believe that it's better for them not to be vaccinated. I respect that. I respect it. And hey, it's their choice. Just like it's the choice of somebody who says, you know what? I'm going to go get vaccinated. I have family that was sick, may have died. I don't want to deal with this. I'm going to get vaccinated. They should. They should. No question about it. But the idea that you can force things upon people, to me, is never a good thing. And it never works out in the end. It never works out in the end. It may look good at the time. It may look good during panic. It may look good during all these things. But it always comes back to hurt people. And it will come back to hurt the NFL, in my opinion. Like I said, I don't care whether you're vaccinated or not vaccinated. I don't care. But I do think people should have the right to choose what they do with their body without being treated like second-class citizens. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. And of course, don't be a dingbat. So we got that video out of the way. To me, that was like almost like a kind of like a burden on me. Like, I don't even want to have to talk about things like that. But sometimes you just can't avoid it. But something that I do want to talk about is this Zach Ertz situation, right? Because it's so funny to me how the media one day will have a story out about, hey, guess what? Zach Ertz is going to be at training camp and he's happy, he's glad to be there. And then the next day, Zach Ertz is going to training camp but he's not happy and he still could be traded. You don't know what's going on because the media comes back with something different every day. The only thing that has been a little bit consistent in stories with multiple media is this Deshaun Watson thing, which totally just, I'm baffled by this whole thing. I might even do a video on it, even though I really don't want to, but I kind of do because it just won't end. But this Zach Ertz situation. Ertz is coming to camp, he's happy, everything's worked out. Now it's, Ertz is coming, but he's not happy, everything isn't worked out. He could still be traded. So it just goes to show you have to wait and see. I think at the end of the day, I think Zach Ertz still gets moved. But we'll find out. What are you going to do? With that said, again and again, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat.